Hi guys, I want to just share with you my Belle and Boo collection of postcards that I've got. Belle and Boo is a really sweet design. It's a girl with dark hair and a bunny that looks like a little wild bunny. And when Pom Pom was with us, I really liked this brand because it looked like me and Pom Pom playing together. And while he was with us, I had in his room a picture of Belle and Boo, and they were in space. Unfortunately, I took that down. I wasn't able to reuse it and I can't find it again now. I'm gonna have to search a bit harder online to try and get another one of them. But at the time Pom Pom passed away, it was a little bit difficult to look at stuff like that because it reminded me so much of him. But I've recently gone and ordered the Belle and Boo official postcards from an official stockist. And just wanted to share them with you because they are so sweet. The designs are so lovely. So this is my favorite one. This is the yoga pose one. And this is Belle and Boo, and they're doing yoga. I just move my finger there, and you can see the little bunny is doing the yoga stretch with the girl. So that just reminds me of me and Pom Pom doing stuff together. My first rabbit Pom Pom looks very much like a wild bunny. I'm not sure if he comes up in the frame in the picture there, but this is Belle and Boo. It is so cute, and I actually already have one of these framed in the lounge there. So really cute, Belle and Boo. That's my favourite one, Tree Pose I think it's called. And we've got another one here of them sharing an ice cream. So obviously, disclaimer, please do not give bunnies ice creams. They cannot eat ice cream. They are vegan and cannot eat human foods, but just for fun, this is a picture of Belle and Boo having an ice cream each on a hot day. It's really nice. I love the colours. I love all the pastel-y colours, the lilacs, the greens, the yellows, the yellow dress. I think this is really pretty and really cute. That's that one. The next one I have is really sweet because I always say Pom Pom always wanted to go in a space rocket to the moon, and now he's on the moon, and I look at the moon too. Whenever there's a full moon, Pom Pom and I used to do Love You to the Moon and Back videos, and every time I see a full moon now, I kind of feel a little bit of a pang of sadness because we always used to do that together. It was just our thing, Love You to the Moon and Back. So I do the Love You to the Moon and Back videos with Toffee now as well, but this is really sweet. This is Belle sitting on the moon in her night dress with her little red slippers, and Boo is on the top there peeking over and saying hello. It's very sweet. That's that one. Here's Belle and Boo having a conversation, which those of you who have rabbits will know that those of us with bunnies just yabber on and chat on to our bunnies all day, even though everyone else around is saying, you know, they can't understand you, right? And you're going, of course they understand me, and having a conversation. So there they are having a little conversation. Again, just with the bright yellow colours. It's very sweet, very calming to look at, I think, the colour-wise as a postcard. And just a very sweet sentiment of her bending down to get onto the bunny's eye level, and just have a little chat with him. Pom Pom and I used to love our chats. Toffee and I love our chats. This one is very sweet. It's Belle carrying balloons and Boo going along looking up at the balloons. I love it when bunnies periscope, when they stand on their back legs and stand up and look to kind of actually look at what's around them and take in what's around them. Toffee will often do that if he's next to a picture on the wall. He'll stand up and just try and get a better look at the picture. So that is very cute. That's Belle and Boo. Looks like they've been to a fair and just got a load of balloons and almost marching. We're not getting a marching band to the beat, and Boo is just there, the little bunny, thinking, I want one of those balloons, and picking out his favourite one, I guess. This one is oh so sweet because Pom Pom used to cuddle me all the time in my arms, and there is Belle and Boo having a lovely big bunny cuddle. So there we go. Let's try and get that in frame. That's Belle and Boo having a lovely big bunny cuddle, and you can just see his little ears poking out at the back. He's so cute. This one I really like as well. This is a cookery one. So there's Belle. I assume she's teaching Boo about cooking. And at this point, I have to stop the video of Belle and Boo cards and tell you a little story. So I've not told anyone this before, and I have to say a disclaimer at the beginning. Please do not ever feed your rabbit cake crumbs. They cannot eat human food. This was a total accident and wasn't harmful in any way as it happened. But I was into baking. I go in and out of stages of baking. At the moment, I'm out of the stage of baking. But a couple of years ago, I was very much into a baking phase. And I was making a chocolate cake, thankfully not with actual chocolate bars. I was using cocoa powder, so it wasn't a potent chocolate. Chocolate is actually really almost poisonous for rabbits, so please do not feed them chocolate. But I was making this chocolate cake and I had clearly dropped a few crumbs. I think it's when I was turning the cake over onto the the cooling rack for the cake to cool down, and a couple of tiny crumbs had gone on the floor. Before I could pick them up, across the room comes Pom Pom, even though it was slippery flooring at the time, and he's got the cake crumbs and he's looking at me and he's like, whoa, these are delicious. Now I say crumbs, teeny tiny little crumbs, didn't harm him, kept an eye on him, kept an eye on his poops, everything was okay. But he ate these and he was looking up to me like, this is delicious, you know, can I have some more? I was going, I'm so sorry, but you're not actually supposed to eat cake. You know, you've had that, it's an accident, but I can't give you any more. You know, have your treats instead. And he's going, I want more of that stuff. So obviously he never had more of that stuff. But a week later, I think it was our anniversary, and Stephen had got me potted roses, pot plant of roses. And we were moving the pot plant to put onto a plate to water, and some of the soil had fallen on the floor. Now again, don't deliberately give your rabbit soil to eat. Pom Pom, right under the table. You can tell what was going through his head, poor thing. Put a few of these tiny soil bits in his mouth and then was spitting them out everywhere. Like, just looked at me with an open mouth going, as if to say, Mom, that's disgusting. And he obviously probably thought these were the cake crumbs again on the floor, because he experienced the week before, little brown crumbs on the floor equals tasty cake. Little brown crumbs on the floor, this time were not tasty because it was soil. And I just looked at him and it was just hilarious. It was as though he was actually trying to say to me, woman, what on earth has happened to your baking? This is minging. So that was just a little funny story that I have about Pom Pom, one of my fun memories of him. And again, please don't feed them soil, don't feed them chocolate cake. This just happened as it happened and he was okay. But it was just a really funny story, and this just reminds me very much of that little story of Pom Pom and the cake crumbs. So there he is. So cute. I've got in advance of Christmas, I might get some more. I'm actually thinking of getting Christmas cards from the Belle and Boo range, but they're not very cheap, so we'll have to see. This is a Christmas stocking one. They're hanging up their stocking together, which is really sweet because we lost Pom Pom just a couple of weeks before Christmas. But this is kind of a nice, cute hanging up the stockings. And then lastly, going to post a letter to Santa. I'm Belle and Boo, and there's Boo trying to reach the post box, as bunnies do when they're trying to reach something that you can reach and they can't reach it themselves. That is really, really sweet. So what I've got is, we're currently decorating our front room in lilac. Lilac is my favourite colour, and it's really, I just find it a very soothing colour, quite a therapeutic colour. Just find if I'm in a room with lilac, I instantly just feel calmer, if that's even a thing with me, because I don't do calm very well. But there we go. And I got this lovely frame from Dunelm. There we go. And I actually quite like the pictures that are already inside it. So I'm not too sure what I'm going to do with those. But the idea was to put some of my Belle and Boo pictures in there. So you can imagine just having Belle and Boo pictures in there. I've got to pick my favourite 5. So I'm not sure. I think at the moment the yoga is a favourite, but that's already framed. I like the moon one. It's probably going to be the ones that remind me of Pom Pom, that are a bit sentimental. But I think that's going to look really nice when it's done and finished. But we're just in the middle of decorating at the moment, so I'm not going to open that up and put them in until we've actually finished the decor. So that is my Belle and Boo collection.